Magandang araw sa lahat. Today, we're diving into an important but often overlooked topic, which is the students with severe disabilities. Bakit ito mahalaga? Kasi ang mga estudyanteng may severe disabilities ay may natatanging pangangailangan. At kung wala tayong tamang understanding sa kanilang sitwasyon, hindi natin sila matutulungan ng maayos. We'll guide you through their definition, challenges, and ways we can provide support to them. So, let's begin. Okay, let's first define what we mean by severe disabilities. This is a common condition where a person has multiple significant impairments that require special care or support, not just in education, but in daily activities as well. Kadalasan ng mga batang may severe disabilities ay may mga combination ng impairments at hindi lang isa. So, anong klaseng disabilities ang tinatawag na severe? Let's break it down into two main types. First type is the multiple disabilities. This means a child has two or more disabilities. For example, a child with both intellectual disability and a physical disability katulad na lang ng may cerebral palsy. Sa ganitong kaso, it's not enough for a child to receive only one type of intervention. They'll need a combination of therapies katulad ng speech therapy, physical therapy, and special education. Another type is the deaf blindness. As the name suggests, it's a combination of both hearing and vision impairments. But remember, hindi laging 100% na hindi nila naririnig o hindi nila nakikita. They may still hear sounds or see shapes, pero naging complex pa rin ang kanilang needs sa communication and mobility. So, kailangan nila ng special strategies for communication like tactile sign language. So, if we're talking about severe disabilities, it's not just about one condition. It's about the complexity and the need for high personalized approach. Again, kapag pinag-uusapan ng severe disability, hindi lang siya tungkol sa isang kondisyon. It's about the complexity and the need for highly personalized approach. Now, pag-usapan naman natin yung technical definition. So, under the Individual with Disabilities Education Act or IDEA, we have specific definitions that guide how we should approach the education for children with severe disabilities. For multiple disabilities, this refers to the combination of two or more impairments, right? Katulad nga ng sabi natin kanina, such as intellectual disability and blindness that result in severe educational needs that can't be addressed by just focusing on one disability. So, it's a very complex case na kailangan ng multiple interventions. Hindi sapat ang isang classroom setting or a single therapy kasi kailangan ng individualized approach for both medical and educational support. Sa deaf blindness naman, the condition involves both hearing and vision loss, diba? And it creates significant challenges pagdating sa learning, communication, and development. The education strategy para sa deaf blindness are highly specialized. So, nagre-require ito ng use ng mga techniques like kagaya ng nabanggit natin kanina, tactile sign language, or even assistive device like braille or electronic communication tools. So, why does this matter? If we understand the definition clearly, we'll know exactly how to approach children with this condition and kung ano yung mga kailangan nilang support at what resources din ang required para sa kanila. So, pagdating naman sa state ng Illinois, wala namang sariling definition ang state nila for severe disability. Katulad ng nasa reference natin, which is the PDF uploaded by Sir, pina-follow ng state yung definition na in-establish ng IDEA para ma-ensure na lahat ng students, regardless of what they are treated equally and provided with the same resources. Mahalaga din ito dahil para maging consistent ang mga services na binibigay sa mga batang may severe disabilities across different regions. Kasi kung ang definition mo or ng isang state is different from the national standards, magkakaroon ng discrepancy sa education and support na makukuha nila. That's why ang state or ang isang bansa or ang isang region, hindi sila dapat gumagawa ng sarili nilang definition ng about severe disabilities, and dapat nakaangkla siya dun sa national standard na pag-define ng severe disabilities para hindi magkaroon ng discrepancy pagdating sa pag-provide ng special education and special support na kinakailangan ng mga batang may severe disabilities.
So next, dito sa historical context. Alam nyo ba, before 1970s, we were not so inclusive when it came to children with disabilities. So dito sa pre-1970s, students with severe disabilities were often excluded from school and placed in institutions. So hindi sila tinatanggap in regular school, and they were seen as a burden. So sobrang limited lang ng mga opportunities nila for learning and social participation. But then 1975 came, and everything changed with the passage of the Education for All Handicapped Children Act, or IDEA. In 1975, this law provided every child, including those with severe disabilities, the right to free and appropriate public education, or FAPE. So, it was a huge turning point. So, bago ito, excluded nga sila, pero nung naipasa ang batas, naging mandatory na for all public schools to accept and accommodate children with disabilities. So, imagine with massive shift from isolation to inclusion. Next, dito sa a turning point. Dito, speaking of turning points, did you know that a major health crisis led to big changes in the way we think about severe disabilities? So, sa 1960s, rubella outbreak, maraming babies ang ipinanganak na may severe disabilities dahil sa outbreak na ito. The virus was passed on to babies through the mother, so causing both hearing and vision impairments. So after this, there was a major push from parents and advocates to get better education and support for children with disabilities. So this event really changed the mindset of society. From being ignored and isolated, people with disabilities became part of their conversation. And advocacy groups really took this up, fighting for the rights of people with disabilities, which led to legal reforms. Dito sa prevalence, sobrang dami ba ng mga batang may severe disabilities? So, hindi naman. Meron tayong multiple disabilities. Dito sa multiple disabilities, meron around 2% of all students in special education have multiple disabilities. Maliit na porsyento, pero imagine how much effort and specialized resources are required to support these students. So next, meron din tayong deaf blindness. Dito sa deaf blindness, less than 1% of students are affected by deaf blindness, but they are often among the most underserved and need of specialized care. So bakit mahalaga na alam natin ang mga bilang na ito? Even if the numbers are small, every single child deserves to have their unique needs met. So it's about quality, not quantity, when it comes to providing the right education and care. Next, causes and characteristics. Dito sa causes and characteristics, where do severe disabilities come from? So ano ba ang mga causes nila? Sa genetic factors, some conditions like Down syndrome or Tay-Sachs disease are inherited. So these genetic conditions affect development and learning disabilities. So dito naman sa environmental factors, mayroong tatlong factors, prenatal, perinatal, and postnatal. So dito sa prenatal, kung ang mom ay umiinom ng alak or gumagamit ng drugs habang buntis, it can result in disabilities. So dito naman sa perinatal, complications during birth like lack of oxygen can also cause brain damage and physical disabilities. So dito sa postnatal naman, mga traumatic events or infections after birth tulad ng meningitis can affect brain development and function. Dito sa characteristic of severe disabilities, meron tayong tatlo. Cognitive delay, motor delay, communication challenges. Dito sa cognitive delay, so this student may show this significant delays in learning new skills, memory, and comprehension. Dito naman sa motor delays, merong some student may experience difficulty in basic motor skills such as sitting, standing, or walking. Dito naman sa communication challenges, example niya, a lot of these children may struggle to express themselves using speech, requiring alternative forms of communication such as sign language or communication devices.
So now, how do we support students with severe disabilities? Una, yung inclusive education. Students should have the chance to learn in an inclusive environment where they can interact with their peers. Ang mga schools kailangan din mag-adapt. Kailangan mag-adapt ng mga schools para makapag-offer sila ng special education teachers, special education classroom, and other individualized support na kinakailangan ng mga batang may severe disabilities. For example na lang nito is instead of segregating them into separate school, they should be integrated into regular classrooms where they can learn from another students and learn yung mga, para maka-learn sila and maka-adapt din yung mga social skills nila. Another thing is, nangangailangan din ng assistive technology. Technology like hearing aids, braille readers, and mobility devices that can make a huge difference pagdating doon sa needs ng mga bata. So these tools help students participate more fully in classroom activities. Another thing is, dapat meron ding specialized training for teachers. Though meron namang mga courses ng special education, nangangailangan din ng mga teachers ng special training para mas ma-understand nila yung mga challenges ng mga students na may mga severe disabilities. For example, they may need to know how to use specialized teaching techniques like yung mga visual aids, sign language na tailored and tailored din yung mga lesson plans nila dun sa needs ng mga batang may severe disabilities. So meron tayong early identification if a student ba is may severe disabilities. One of the keys to supporting students with severe disabilities is yung early identification. First dito is yung neonatal screening. So makakatulong ito na ma-detect yung condition ng mga bata like yung hearing loss, metabolic disorders, or genetic conditions right after silang ipinanganak. The earlier the diagnosis, the sooner interventions can begin. Another thing is, meron tayong tinatawag na developmental assessments. Ito yung regular assessment na crucial siya to determine if yung bata ba is experiencing delays in their physical, cognitive, or emotional development. So, this will allow sa mga teachers natin and sa mga parents na makapag-intervene din early. So, mahalagang maunawaan natin na ang pagsuporta sa mga estudyanteng may severe disabilities ay hindi lang tungkol sa pagbibigay ng accommodations or mga special na gamit sa kanila or mga kagamitan. Ito ay tungkol din sa pagkilala sa kanilang halaga bilang mahalagang bahagi ng ating community and pagbibigay ng fair or patas na opportunities para sa kanilang pag-unlad or sa kanilang growth. Bakit mahalaga ang inclusion? Kasi ang isang bata na may severe disabilities ay binibigyan ng tamang support. Hindi lang sila yung makikinabang. Ang buong community ay matututo rin mula sa kanila. So, kapag binigyan natin ng pansin ang mga batang may severe disabilities, matututo tayo ng empathy, ng acceptance, at mga kahalagahan ng ating differences. So, dapat mayroong inclusive education or yung inclusive education, hindi siya dapat privilege. Isa siyang right na dapat nating ipaglaban para sa bawat students. So, ang papel nating lahat dito, hindi ito trabaho lamang ng guro or ng mga magulang. tayong lahat bilang bahagi ng ating community ay may mga responsibilities tayo na kailangan masiguro natin na ligtas, supportive, and inclusive ang mga spaces para sa mga bata na ito. It begins with small actions tulad ng pag-unawa, pakikipag-usap, at pagtanggap sa kanilang mga pangangailangan. So, sa huli, ang layunin natin dito, ang goal natin dito, ay magkaroon tayo ng isang mundo kung saan lahat ng bata, regardless of their abilities, ay nararamdaman na sila ay mahalaga rin. And meron silang place or lugar sa ating mga schools and community. So we can achieve this by working together na may malasakit and dedication and of course unity. So as psychology major, it is part of our calling. So maraming salamat, and I hope this topic will serve as a reminder to everyone that every child ay may karapatan para sa may magandang kinabukasan. Thank you.